Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Brothers and sisters, if you are able to hear me, please reply in YouTube chat. So, inshallah, we will continue with the Arab topic. And yesterday, we finished the topic of at-tawabi. Okay. And in tawabi, what are the things? An-naat, at-tauqeed, al-atf, and badal. So these are the four tawabi. And we went into some introductory details into each of these. There are two kinds of naat, haqiqi and sababi. Okay, haqiqi and sababi. At-tawqeed, ma'anwi, and lafzi. And then we went into details of atf and then badal. Badal kulli min kullin, then badal ba'adin min kull, and badal ishtimalin, and badal ghalatin. So remember this chart if you can. Otherwise, at least you should know that these are the tawabi, the main categories. An-naat, al-tawqeed, al-atf, and al-badal. And I mentioned yesterday also that we went through the list of marfuaat according to the book. And these are the marfuaat that was mentioned in this chapter. I'm going to mention more marfu'at here after learning from tawabi. Ma'tuf ala al-marfu'. So I discussed about Naat Manut. So Ja'a Aliyun wa Sa'idun. This is Naat Manut case. Sorry. Ma'tuf ala al-marfu'. This is Harfu Ataf case. Okay. So this is Ja Aliyun wa Sa'idun. So Sa'id is ma'tuf towards Ali. And if Ali is marfu, so Sa'id will also be marfu. Okay. In the same way, Al-Badalu min al-marfu. Najaha akhuka Muhammadun. Badal is a replacement, substitute. So if the badal, if the first noun is marfu, then badal will also be marfu. We did this yesterday. Then naat marfu. So if man'ut is marfu, then naat will also be marfu. For example, hadha rajulun salihun. Rajulun is marfu. So salihun, its naat will also be marfu. Then tawqeedun marfu. Ja'al mudiru nafsuhu, where tawqeed means where you put stress or emphasis. Okay. So the here emphasis is what? Tawqeed is nafsu. So these are this is will be marfu if its preceding noun is marfu also. Ismu Kada wa Akhwatuha. Now this is where we stopped yesterday. Now you learnt about kana yakunu before. Okay, kana wa Akhwatuha. And I think I discussed about Kada also. So this is an example of Kada. Kada al-kafiru yuslimu. Now Kada is, the meaning of this sentence is the infidel almost converted to Islam. He was about to convert Islam. That's what it means. So Kada is exactly similar, more or less similar to Kana wa Akhwatuha. Now Kada yakadu means about to or almost. That is, the action is about to happen or almost happened, on the verge of happening. Okay, that is kada yakadu, and this is fi'l. Kada is Madi form and Yakadu is Mudari form. And it is similar to Kana Yakunu. What happens in Kana? The ism that comes after Kana, which is in the normal sentence, is Mubtada. Once Kana is added to the Jumla Ismiya, then that Mubtada becomes Ismu Kana. In the same way, here also in Kada sentences, and the Kana sentences, though Kana is also fi'l, but they act like Jumla Ismiya. Same way, Kada sentences or Yakadu sentences also act like Jumla Ismiya. Though they are fi'l, but they act like Jumla Ismiya. Now in Kana, you know that Ismu Kana is always Marfu'. So here also, the Ismu Kada is Marfu'. Ismu Kada is Marfu'. Now, in what about Khabaru Kada? Now the difference here is in Kada, the Khabar is Fi'lul Mudari. The Khabar is Fi'lul Mudari, which is the action that is about to be done or almost done or almost it is going to happen. That's why Mudari is used as a Khabar. Okay. Now what happens in Kana? In Kana, the Khabaru Kana is Mansoob. You know that Khabaru Kana is Mansoob. Here, Khabar is a fi'l al-mudari sentence. So here also Khabaru Kada is in the state of Nasb. Khabaru Kada occupies the Nasb status in a sentence, in a Jumla. So since it is fi'l al-mudari, and in that case, how will you describe his alamat? You will say fi mahalli nasbin. When it comes to Khabaru Kada, you will say fi mahalli nasbin, while Ismu Kada is marfu'un. Okay, but Khabaru Kada is fi mahalli nasbin. Okay, and it is always fi'l mudari. Let's see some of the examples. Kadal waladu yadhaku. Kadal waladu. Now, the kada is the madi form used. Now, what will be the meaning of this sentence? It means the boy almost laughed. The boy almost laughed, which was about to happen. Which was about to happen. He almost laughed. So here this is kada, which is fi'l. And al-waladu is what? It is ismu kada and it is marfu'. Al-waladu is ismu kada and it is marfu'. And here comes the khabaru kada, which is fi'lul mudari yadhaku. Yadhaku. What does it mean? Yadhaku means he laughs. It says mudari. He laughs. That's the meaning of that. So you will say, though it is fi'lul mudari, you will say fi mahalli nasbin khabaru kada. You will say fi mahalli nasbin khabaru kada. Clear, brothers and sisters? Okay. Another example, kadal mudarrisu yakhruju. The teacher was about to leave. Kadal mudarrisu yakhruju. The teacher was about to leave. So here again, al mudarrisu is ismu kada and it is marfu'. Yakhruju means he leaves. Fi'l mudari. and it is fi mahalli nasbin, Khabaru Kada. Now here comes the mudari form of Kada. Yakadul jarasu yarinnu. The bell is about to ring. Because here the mudari form of Kada is used. So how will you say that? The bell is about to ring. Yakadu. Here it was Kada. The boy almost laughed. Here it was Kada. The teacher was about to leave. But if the bell is about to ring, you will rather say Yakadul jarasu yarinnu. Yarinnu is again fi'lul mudari. Means rings. Okay? Fi'lul mudari. And it is Khabaru Kada fi mahalli nasbin. Yakadul imamu yarka'u. How will you translate this? Yakadul imamu yarka'u. Yarka'u means he bows down. Okay, he bows down. So, or he goes into ruku' in the prayer. So the meaning will be the imam is about to bow. The imam is about to bow. Then kada tiflu yasqutu. Kada. Now it is in the Madi form. Kada tiflu yasqutu. It means the child almost fell or the child was about to fall. And then the same thing. Another example. In qalabat sayyaratu hamidin wakada yamut. Wakada yamutu. Hamid's car overturned and he was about to die, or he was almost dead. Wakada yamut. He was almost dead. So here again, we can add to our Marfuaat list, which is this one, Ismu Kada wa Akhwatuha. Ismu Kada wa Akhwatuha. Kadal kafiru yuslimu. The infidel, the kafir, almost converted to Islam, was almost about to convert to Islam. That's what it means here. Another example, Khabaru la AnNafiyatu liljinsi. This is a new topic. Khabaru la AnNafiyatu liljinsi. Now this khabar is also marfu. Take an example of that. La mu'minati mutabarrajatun. Mutabarrajatun means those females who display their beauty. Mutabarrajatun means those females, those women who display their beauty, their adornment, they beautify themselves to show it to people. It doesn't mean that it is not allowed. So, and for a mu'minat not to display their beauty, but they can do that for their husbands or within their female friends. Okay. So here, what does it mean? There are no believing women who are immodest. I'm going to go into details of la AnNafiyatu liljinsi. Okay. Now, Khabaru la AnNafiyatu liljinsi. This is a specific. Now, this la AnNafiyatu liljinsi. This is a la. You have learnt about la in the negation. We have taken several times revision of la. Okay, there is la AnNahiya and there is la AnNafiya also. And I went into these details when I was taking your surf classes. And also we have revised it several times. So here I'm going to little bit talk more about it. La AnNafiyatu liljinsi. Now it is a specific type of la which negates the entire category or essence of something. It negates the entire category. So it is used to emphasize that there is none of the kind being referred to, meaning that the negation applies to everything or the whole genus or type rather than an individual instance. So you will understand it from example, inshallah. Now, what is the construction? La AnNafiyatu is the law which negates the entire genus, as I mentioned. The ism that follows the la is called Ismu la. The ism that follows the la is called, now this is specifically for la AnNafiyatu liljinsi. This is a special kind of la. And any ism that follows that is called Ismu la, which is the mubtada of the negation, which is the subject of the negation. It is the subject of the negation. Like in Ismu kana, which if there is no kana, it was mubtada. In the same way, if there is no la, the ism that acts as a mubtada, that is called Ismu la. That is called Ismu la. But here, Ismu la is always Mansoob. Ismu la is always Mansoob, while Khabaru la is Marfu. So, Ismu la is always, another property of Ismu la is, it is Ghair Mudaf. It cannot come as Mudaf. And also it is Ghair Mu'arraf, means it cannot come with al. Remember this, make a note of this. So Ismu la will be Ghair Mudaf and it will be Ghair Mu'arraf, means it will come without al. Remember this. Take an example. Okay, before that, let me talk about Khabaru la. Khabaru la completes the meaning of the sentence. It can be anything. Now, khabar can be single word, khabar can be jumla, but it will be marfu. It would be fi mahalli raf'in, or it could be marfu, whatever, but it will be in the status of Rafa. So, Khabaru la AnNafiyatu will be in the status of liljinsi, will be in the status of Rafa. Remember this. Example, La taliba fil madrasati. Now see, look at La taliba fil madrasati. What is the meaning of that? There is no student in the school. So what this la is doing is, there is emphasis. There is emphasis that definitely, indeed, there is none of the students in the school. For sure, there is no students in the school. So here you notice this Ismu la is Mansoob. Ismu la is Mansoob. It is not with al. Still, it is not, if you are writing an ism without making it ma'rifa, then you do not put tanween over it. You put tanween over it, right? Here it is not, there is no tanween. Also it is not mudaf. And it is mansoob and it is with single fatha. You are not saying la taliban. That's wrong. You say la taliba fil madrasati. This is shubu jumla. Jar majroor. This is khabaru la. Khabaru la means it is fi mahalli raf'in. Fi mahalli raf'in. Okay, brothers and sisters, I hope it is clear. Next. Okay, so this is Ismu la and this is Khabaru la. So la negates the existence of any student. There is emphasis that it negates the whole genus. There is no students at all. Let's see some of the examples. Now in the color coding I'm using in this example is Ismu la is, I'm using red letters, Khabaru la I'm using green letters. لا مشكلة تؤثر علينا. تؤثر علينا. مشكلة means difficulties. مشكلة. لا مشكلة تؤثر علينا. مشكلة means difficulties or problems. So no problem تؤثر. تؤثر means affect us. علينا. This is فعل. No problem affects us. تؤثر affects us. علينا. Now this is what kind of jumla is this? تؤثر علينا. This is جملة فعلية. And it is خبر. Okay. So it is خبر. Now which is في محل رفع. Another example. لا رجل حاضر. No one, no man is present. حاضر is single word. رجل is Mansoob. Okay. So there is, it is negating that none of the men are present. Okay. And this is Khabaru la, which is Marfu. La kitaba ala al-maktabi. This is Shibu Jumla again. Khabaru la fi mahalli raf'in. Kitaba is Ismu la and it is Mansoob. There is no book on the desk. Okay. There is no book on the desk. So this is another addition to our Marfuaat, which is Khabaru la AnNafiyatu liljinsi. So this means mutabarrijatun. This is Khabaru la. Okay. Mansubaat. So how many? See, we have expanded our list to 11 Marfuaat. Let's go to Mansubaat now. So we finished all of these. Ismu inna, Khabaru Kana, which is Mansoob. Maf'ul bihi is Mansoob. Maf'ul fihi is Mansoob. Maf'ul li ajlihi or Maf'ul lahu is again Mansoob. Maf'ul ma'ahu. All mafa'il are Mansoob. Maf'ul al-mutlaqu. This is again Mansoob. Al-halu Mansoob. Tamyiz Mansoob. Mustasna Mansoob. Munada Mansoob. And Khabaru Kada wa Akhwatuha is also Mansoob. Kada al-kafiru yuslimu fi mahalli nasbin. Yuslimu, it is Jumla. It is a fi'l al-mudari and it is a Jumla fi'liya, but it is fi mahalli nasbin. So it is also from the Mansubaat. The infidel almost converted to Islam. Okay. Ismu la AnNafiyatu liljinsi. لا طالب علم كسلان. No, I think the best example is what I took. Maybe this should not be the correct example. Okay. So the best example which I took in the previous slide. Okay. I will correct this slide. So معطوف على المنصوب رأيت عليا وسعيدا. This is another example which is related to حروف عطف. Then البدل من المنصوب. نصحت أخاك محمدا. This is badal, which is means a substitute. And نصحت is what? فاعل. I advised, I did nasiha, okay, to your brother Muhammad. Okay. نعت المنصوب. رأيت رجلا صالحا. I saw a righteous man. Okay. توقيد المنصوب. رأيت المدير نفسه. توقيد. Okay. Self توقيد here. نفسه. I saw the manager himself. So these were some of the Mansubaat we after doing the tawabe, we have expanded our list, and then also we discussed about two majroorat, which was mudaf ilayh and jar majroor. And again, ma'atuf al majroor. So this is another example. Sallamtu ala Khalidin wa Sa'idin. Due to ala, this becomes the majroor. So the Sa'id also becomes majroor because it is ma'tuf ala ali Khalidin. Then al-badalu min al-majroor. ذهبت إلى أخيك محمد. I went to your brother Muhammad. Ila make akhi as majroor, so Muhammad also becomes majroor, which is badal. Naat Naatu Al Majroori. So what is that? Safartu ma'a rajulin ilmin. I traveled with a knowledgeable man. Ma'a is zarf, so this became this majroor, and ilmin is sifa or naat, which is again majroor. Tauqeedu Al Majroor. Sallamtu ala al-mudiri nafsihi. Okay, I greeted the manager himself. So these are again some of the majroorat. So all this time we were discussing marfuaat, mansubaat, majroorat, and we took the tawabi, and we again expanded this list. Before that, we were talking about i'rab min al-asma'i. So we were talking about the i'rab about al-asma, which means nouns. Now today we are going to talk about al-i'rab min al-af'al. I'rab of the af'al, of the fi'l. So al-mu'rabu wal-mabniyu min al-af'ali, of the within the fi'l. And I took this topic earlier also in the surf classes, and I mentioned that it is not just ism that have the status in the sentence, which is Rafa, Nasab, and Jar. But even the fi'l, they have status in the sentence. So, but they are different. So let's, as we begin this chapter, when we started learning this chapter, the author started with eliminating what is not mu'rab. Mu'rab means something that declines. Mu'rab means something that declines, or whose i'rab changes in the sentence. So author started with identifying which are not mu'rab for the al-asma, if you remember. So first thing that we were discussing in this chapter was mabniyat. So we were talking about mabni, all the al-asma which do not decline. Mabniyun, which do not decline. Now same strategy we will use, or the author is using here. What he is trying to use is, first he will identify what are mabniyat in the al-af'al, which fail, they do not decline. Okay, so the first thing is al-fi'lu al-madi mabniyun daiman. What does it mean? Fi'lu al-madi are always, or is always, mabni. Daiman means always. Fi'l al-madi, the past tense, af'al, they are all mabni, always. So that this topic is not for the past tense, af'al. This topic is not for the past tense, which mu'rab topic is not for the past tense. These are mabni. So remember this. So this is the elimination. All the madi, they are mabni. The second is Fi'lul amri mabniyun da'iman. Fi'lul amr, which is the commanding verb, is again always mabni. Second category is eliminated. Madi is eliminated. Failul Amr is eliminated and they are not mu'rab. Then comes Failul Mudari. Now Failul Mudari mu'rabun wa mabniyun. It can be mu'rab and it can be mabni also. So when I was taking the surf part in the surf, when I was taking this topic, I didn't talk about, I think I mentioned, maybe I mentioned that it's mabni. So, but my focus was that mudari is on the only Failul Mudari is the topic for mu'rab. Okay. So there are some Failul Mudari which is mabni also. Okay. So we are going to go a little bit into details of these af'al. Now, الفعل المضارع يكون مبنيا في حالتين. What does it mean? That فعل المضارع is mabni in two situations. فعل المضارع is mabni in two situations or two conditions. We will go through both of these conditions one by one. The first condition is إذا اتصلت به نون التوكيد توكيد اتصالا مباشرا. What does it mean? If noon al-tawqeed is directly connected to it. If the noon al-tawqeed is directly connected to what? Fail al-mudari. What is noon al-tawqeed? You have to go and listen to the surf classes. Noon al-tawqeed. But I'm going to take a little bit revision of that today. Example is Wallahu la'aqra'anna. Wallahu la'aqra'anna. By God, by Allah, I will surely read. This is noon al-tawqeed for emphasis, for stressing on something. That is noon al-tawqeed. And it always comes with lam. It always comes with lam. So it is called Laam AlTaaqeed wa noonuhu. So this always is a combination with lam and noon. It only deals with fail al-mudari, remember. So they come together. The lam and the noon, they come together, they get attached to fail al-mudari, and this is used for emphasis. In Quran, you will find many examples of these. So there are two types of noon. Now which noon? I'm specifically talking about noon al-tawqeed. There are two types of noon. One is noonun saqilatun. Saqil means heavy. The noon that is heavy. And in Arabic language, noon, the letter noon itself is treated as heavy. To make it little bit more heavy, you add another noon to that. That's why tanween, the letters which end with tanween, they are treated as heavy letters. To make them light, you will try to remove the noon sound. Okay, you know this already. So noon itself is treated as thaqila, heavy. Now if you, noon thaqila means double emphasis, means there is shadda over it. That means there are two noons. Instead of writing two noon, you put shadda over it. And I explained to you what does it shadda, noon shadda indicates. There is first noon which has sukoon over it, and there is second noon which has the sign over it. It could be fatha or dhamma or whatever it is. Now this noon emphasis is having fatha sign over it. Noon shadda with fatha over it. So this is noon thaqila. There is another noon. Okay, so this comes many times in the Quran. There is another noon which is noon khafifa, which is lighter noon. But again, noon itself is in gender thaqila, but noon, this single noon gives a single emphasis. So noon itself acts for emphasis. This is less emphasis, you will say. Double noon means higher emphasis. What kind of meaning it gives? Indeed, definitely, sure, surely. So you will see many, many examples in the Quran. And if you read the translation, you will see indeed, definitely, surely. All those you will see, if you look at the Arabic part of it, you'll find somewhere. If it is fil mudari is used there, you'll find the examples of these noon thaqila and noon khafifa. There are only two places in Quran which came with noon khafifa, so it is very less used. Mostly what is used is noon thaqila. And I'm going to show you what are the two places where are the two places in the Quran where noon khafifa is used. Now this ta'qeed, Laam AlTaaqeed wa noonuhu, this combination, when they combine together to fi'l al-mudari, it takes the meaning into future. It takes the meaning into future. Obviously, it is. See, in the first book when I spoke about Af'aal, I said when you talk about Af'aal, there are tenses. There are three things: past tense, present tense, future tense. Okay. In all the grammar that you must be reading is past, present, and future. Maadi, hal, and mustaqbal. In Arabic language, hal and mustaqbal, the present and the future is comes under the category of mudare. Okay, and there are some indicators in the sentence which comes with mudare and it gives the meaning of future, which gives with the meaning in future, and this is one of it. That Laam AlTaaqeed wa noonuhu, it takes the meaning into future. Okay. Now, what at-ta'qeed means? Emphasis. At-ta'qeed means emphasis. So when it comes to emphasis, when it comes to at-ta'qeed in ism, what is the word? What is the thing you used? Inna. There also see there is noon coming there. Inna, and it is used for emphasis. So when you try to emphasize on some ism, you use inna word there. Now, when you try to emphasize on fi'l al-mudari, then you use the combination of lam and noon thaqila or noon khafifa. Okay? So when it comes to fi'l, then you use for at-ta'qeed, you use single noon or double noon or noon sukoon or noon with shadda. That is for emphasis. Okay? So to create emphasis in the meaning of fi'l al-mudari, Laam AlTaaqeed comes before it, means you attach Laam AlTaaqeed at the beginning of the fi'l al-mudari. You attach Laam AlTaaqeed at the beginning of fi'l al-mudari. How do you construct the fi'l al-mudari with emphasis? Suppose there is a word called yaf'alu. He does. Fi'l al-mudari. Yaf'alu. Then you attach Laam AlTaaqeed, you prefix it, you attach it in the beginning. So you attach it towards the ya side. And that's the rule to create emphasis. And then you suffix it with noon saqila or noon khafifa. Means you either add noon saqila to the end or noon khafifa to the end. So if you are attaching noon khafifa, then you will put noon at the end, single noon with sukoon, and Laam AlTaaqeed. So what will be the word that will be formed after you add these two letters to that? La yaf'alanna. La yaf'alanna. And what will be the word that will be formed when you attach noon khafifa? La yaf'alan. La yaf'alan. Now, what the meaning changes in both the cases? What is the meaning of this? Definitely he will do. The meaning is he does. It could be in present form, it could be in the future also. But here, the moment you say la yaf'alanna, or the moment you say la yaf'alan, then you'll say definitely he will do. Definitely he will do. It is taking the meaning in future. Okay, brothers and sisters, it is taking the meaning in future. Understood? So the words with noonul Arab, those now comes to, so if you see the af'al of mudari, there are many af'al that ends with noon. We call it as noonul Arab, those af'al which ends with noon. Now, this noon is deleted when you try to add emphasis to that. So this emphasis is more stronger than the noon of Arab, noonul Arab also of that. What does it mean? You will know it from the next slide. Let's see the mudari form of that. Yaf'alu. Now this one doesn't end with noon. The ending sound is dhamma. Now, if the moment you will add taqeed to that, it become yaf'alu will become la yaf'alanna. Yaf'alu will become la yaf'alanna. Now, what is the huma version of mudari? Yaf'alani. Now, this ends with what is noonul i'rab. Ani is the ending sound or ending words. La yaf'alani. Now, this noon is stronger than noon saqila or noon khafifa is stronger than this. It will strike this out. It will throw this out and take its position. So, what it becomes? La yaf'alani. La yaf'alani. There is noon saqila over it. That noon is gone. La yaf'alani. In the same way, yaf'aluna. They will do. For surely they will do, how you will say? La yaf'alunna. La yaf'alunna. Okay? Taf'alu. La taf'alanna. In the same way, taf'alani becomes la taf'alani. Now comes here. Yaf'alna. Yaf'alna. This is a special case. What it becomes with the emphasis? La yaf'alnani. La yaf'alnani. Only this thing acts weirdly, I would say. Hunna version acts very weirdly. Then taf'alu, la taf'alanna. Taf'alani becomes la taf'alani. Taf'aluna becomes la taf'alunna. Taf'alina becomes la taf'alin alinna. And la taf'alani becomes la taf'alani. And so my tongue is becoming okay. Taf'alna becomes, again this becomes, these hunna and antunna behaves weirdly. It becomes la taf'alanani. Okay. Af'alu becomes la af'alanna. Naf'alu becomes la naf'alanna. All these are with emphasis. All these are with emphasis. What does it mean? Definitely he will do. Definitely they too will do. Definitely they all will do. Definitely she will do. Definitely they both will do. Definitely they all will do. So this is how the meaning changes with emphasis. Okay. So The noon khafifa. Now, this was the example for noon thaqila, the previous slide. That was the example for noon thaqila. Now, noon khafifa also works similar to noon thaqila, except that it does not comes with duals and jama muannas. What is jama muannas? Hunna, antunna. So it doesn't comes with all the most dual forms, and it doesn't comes with hunna and antunna. Let's see the example into the next slide. Okay. So here, these are the two examples in Al-Quran. It came in Surah Alaq, ayat number 15, and it came in Surah Yusuf, ayat number 32, I believe. Yeah. So this is the example. So the word that is used here is la nasfa am. Now you see there is a tanween used, la nasfa an, which means we will surely drag. So here it is talking about those who will be those who will be dragged into Jahannam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, He is putting the for emphasis, and so for writing it is tanween is used. Actually it is la nasfa'an is actually like this, la nasfa'an, with single noon sound. In the same way in Surah Yusuf, so when this Yusuf, she blames Yusuf alayhi salam for the wrongdoing, he puts a blame on him. That time the wife of Aziz, she uses this word and she says wala yakunan. She said that, and there is a word before that, la yus jananna. Here also there is emphasis, and that here it's saying that he will surely be imprisoned. And then in the second case, a single noon, wala yakunan, and will surely be. This is with single noon. The nakunan with tanween is actually like this, la yakunan, la yakunan, and will surely be. So these are the only two places where noon khafifa is used. Now I mentioned that noon khafifa doesn't comes in dual, and it doesn't comes in hunna version and antunna version, means jama muannas. Okay, so here let's see the conjugation of that, where with noon khafifa it will be la yaf'alan, and in dual it is not applicable. In plural it will be la yaf'alun, and in the here it will be la taf'alan. Again it is not applicable for dual, and it is not applicable for plural feminine. And for the anta it will be la taf'alan, and antuma, all the duals it is not applicable, whether it is third party or second party, all the duals it is not applicable. Okay, antum, then it will be la taf'alun, anti, la taf'alin. Again for dual it is not applicable, and antunna it is not applicable, and ana will be la af'alan, and nahnu will be la nafalan. Okay, brothers and sisters. So this is all the af'al that will be mabniyat. What I mentioned, we are again doing according to the what Dr. V. AbdurRaheem wrote this book. First, he discussed about mabni forms of nouns. Now he is talking about mabni forms of fi'l. And the first category, the first thing you need to remember is fi'l al-madi mabni. The second thing you have to remember is fi'l al-amr mabni. Daiman, forever, always, they are mabni. And the third thing is fi'l al-mudari. Two situations, two conditions, they are mabniun when there is emphasis, noon emphasis is used, noonu tauqeed is used, which always comes with lam as a prefix. And the second condition is إذا اتصلت به نون النسوة. If noon niswa is connected to it. What is noon niswa? Noon niswa. The feminine noon, the noon that identifies the gender. And which forms this noon niswa is visible? In which forms? Out of the 14 conjugations of damair, which forms shows noon niswa? So it is, niswa means it is feminine identification. So there is definitely nothing related to the muzakkar forms of the damair. So when it in the feminine forms, where does the noon appears is only in the hunna version. And because we are dealing with mudari and only deals with antunna version. Okay. So when you start conjugating yaf'alu, yaf'alani, yaf'aluna, taf'alu, taf'alani, yaf'alna. Yaf'alna is what? Hunna version. And in the same way, antunna version is taf'alna. Antunna version is taf'alna. So these two forms are also mabni. So simple. Then mudari category is so easily identified, which are mu'rab. Rest of them will be mu'rab. Okay. Example, at-talibatu yajtahidna. At-talibatu yajtahidna. The female students are hardworking. Yajtahidna fil al-mudari. And it is dealing with feminine plural. Okay, hunna version. Yajtahidna. This is noon niswa. This is noon niswati. So all those af'al which have noon niswa, they are mabni. Okay. So like in ism, there is Rafa, Nasab, Jar. In the same way, in fi'lul and af'al, there is Rafa, Nasab, and Jazm. Inshallah, we will go through it today. Time is not permitting, only few minutes left for me. So we are going to do through that. But now, what is now? We will go into Mu'rab now. ويكون معربا فيما عدا ذلك. ما عدا فيما عدا. What is this? This is again, we discussed this yesterday only. What is it called? This is in the topic of mustasna. Yes, this is adatul istisna. Ma'ada, exception. So the author says this, al-fi'l al-mudari, they are وَيَكُونُ مُعْرَبًا, they are mu'rab means they decline except in ذَلِكَ, which is ذَلِكَ means that we have discussed before. Okay, in the previous slide, that we discussed in the previous slide, which is two conditions. They are with the noon for emphasis and with noon niswa. Okay, so they can come in different forms. Adhabu, mudari. Okay, I will go. I can bring it with lam adhab. Lam adhab. I didn't go. I can even attach with lan adhaba. Then I will not go. Now all these i'rab is changing for the mudari. Here it is adhabu. The ending is Rafa. Alamatul Rafa is Dhamma. Lam adhab. Alamatul Jazm is Sukun. And Lan adhaba. Alamatul Nasab is Fatha. Okay. So inshallah we will go through the i'rab of Af'aal inshallah next week. But I want to just spend few minutes with you, brothers and sisters. There are only few students I have seen who have completed the quizzes on the website. How many quizzes are there? And you have full 1 week to complete it. And you have full 1 week to complete it. Even if you give 10 minutes every day, you will be able to complete them. It's so easy. Now, why you are, I've seen people are taking a lot of stress. Oh, we don't know how to write. We don't know, we don't have Arabic keyboard. We don't have this and that. Put some stress, brothers and sisters. We do so much for our career. We do so much for our dunya. And we try to put some stress, try to find out, buy Arabic keyboard if you want to buy English Arabic keyboard. If you want to do things, or if you don't want to buy, try to learn typing, do it from your mobile or tab or something. But believe me, it will really help you learn and understand the language easily. If sometimes what your tongue cannot remember, your hand can remind you. Sometimes by memorizing things with your tongue, by writing it, your hand will remind you, oh yes, it's this. So writing exercises are very, very few. 1 or 2 you will see. There are very few on the website. But what is there is mostly quizzes, and they are very interesting quizzes. It will evaluate, you will evaluate yourself. You'll get the grading yourself. You'll be satisfied, oh, end of the course, I have achieved this much. This is the score I got. You will try to see your weaknesses. Okay. So do it faithfully, do it properly, read, understand, revise through my video and through book, and then attempt and solve the quizzes. Please do that. It is for your benefit. Okay. So inshallah, tomorrow will be book 1 class. Please, whoever are your family and friends, ask them to join book 1 class also. And inshallah, we will continue with the topic next week. Okay. Jazakumullahu khairan.